Good morning again. Scott here, known as Cantaloupe to some online, and I'm bringing another video to you on a subject that's interesting to me. It might be of interest to you or someone you know. And I'm going to talk about a pretty sensitive subject for some people. At least it's, intimate, personal, private, that kind of thing, and that is reckless fellatio. Fellatio being oral sex, usually towards the man from a partner. And I want to weigh in with some thoughts about this in my worldly experience, that is. It's important, actually, I think, for people to understand, especially young people, the kinds of commitments they make in life, because most of them do not understand it. There's a huge opportunity here based on things I've heard from women, and I'm going to start by saying I have never sucked dick in my life, pardon the expression. However, I've talked to plenty of women who have done so, and many of them have said that there's a point beyond which it's too much, and it changes them, it desensitizes them, and it conditions them against enjoying certain things in life. So I'll get into that in just a second. Now, so there's this attitude. I want to start also with this attitude that I pick up on literally from many young women who say they think they're bad, and it's sarcastic. They're saying, I'm bad, I like to suck dick. And there's anger in this. Okay, there's anger if you're being sarcastic, usually. There's anger in saying that you're bad because you're assuming and inviting a judgment, saying you don't care, go ahead and judge me, I'm going to do what I want. That's fine, but the reckless part is not fine necessarily. So consider, it's like a tattoo. You want to get a tattoo? Great. You're sure you like the symbol? Fine. Okay, but it's irreversible. Let's agree that even given laser technology, removal technology, getting a tattoo is arguably irreversible. So it should not be entered into recklessly. To recklessly make an irreversible decision is just stupid. Can we agree on that much? So it's the same idea with sex, because it's a commitment even if you deny that. Even if you refuse to accept that you are participating in something special with another person, regardless of contraception, regardless of what they say, how they communicate, especially if females are involved, because they have a deep programmed instinct to bond with people. And you can deny this all day long, I will disagree. If you have sex with a woman, she's going to attach herself to you, whether she wants to or not. That's just how people work. It's human nature. If she doesn't, it means that she's been so fully broken and desensitized that she can't bond anymore. That's the only other option. And I don't mean to digress too far on this topic, but here's the problem. Reckless fellatio can create a reputation, among other things. It can create a distaste for, the experience of eggnog, mayonnaise, whipped cream, you name it, pudding. You understand the connection, right? And I'm speaking secondhand from experience that was given to me firsthand by women who indulged or overindulged in sexual experiences to the point where they cannot even enjoy food anymore. And on the subject of reputation, you may not think it matters. You may not think you care. And I'm not going to dispute that. I'm not going to argue about that. But I will say that there's going to be that one guy who avoids you based on that reputation, if you get one. And you're going to tell yourself you don't care about him either. But is it true? I'll wait. Is it true? The people who care about you aren't going to want to share you as a woman, as a female. You can just trust me on this. If a man's going to pass you around, if he's going to take you to an orgy and let other guys have their way with you, that man couldn't give a shit less about you. I stand by this comment. You trade your wife, you swap your wife, you might as well just get it divorced right then and there. It's not worth it, man. You guys are together for the wrong reasons. You don't care about that woman. I'm 100% sure. A man does not like seeing his woman get handled by other men. It's a fundamental conflict of interest. It's a conflict of biology. And if you allow that and you enjoy it, you're in it for the wrong reasons, I'm quite sure. It's the same idea with reckless fellatio. If she is going to insist on reserving her right to do that with random people or whoever she chooses versus, a single person who she may commit to monogamously, then I'm not going to tell you what to do, but personally, I'm out at that point, because my interest stops where the picture becomes based on sex. When the picture is removed, the context, the bigger, meaningful expectation of permanency, I mention this a lot, when that's removed in lieu of having entertainment, sex for entertainment, or recreational sex just because you have contraception and just because it may not be vaginal intercourse, that removes my interest, okay? Because I'm not reckless like that. Sex is dangerous. People get hurt. People get all the things I just said. Never mind STDs, never mind pregnancy. You already know about that stuff, and I'm not going to warn you about that, but I will say that there are many, many things that happen. Really what it comes down to, in conclusion, I don't want to go on and on. We being society, modern lovers, modern people in the dating community, or especially young people who are just starting out with learning how to be intimate, we have forgotten that contraception was never meant to change your basic behavior. It wasn't supposed to create a whole new lifestyle. It's supposed to empower you with your already healthy decisions to keep you safe and to allow you to have some breathing space, not to create the opportunity to really just indulge in orgies and reckless abandon and casual sex all day, every day. It's not meant to do that. And you couldn't possibly do any of that without contraception if you think about it. You couldn't. Final conclusion. Females carry a disproportionate risk in sex. They risk injury, social and physical, if they get pregnant. They risk all of the same ordinary injuries with STDs. I am going to say something about it, but to assume that the heart doesn't get pregnant, I mentioned this also in many of my videos, is a folly. Okay, the heart does get pregnant. She can get pregnant with or without contraception. And if you don't think so, just believe it. Trust and believe. And if she is rebelling because of some inability to say no, which is usually what happens if we're being honest, if she's saying, you can't tell me what to do, I'm going to have fun, I'm going to, do fellatio as I see fit all day, every day. Hyperbole, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. If she's going to say that, you know that there was a problem, there was some trauma. It's a reaction, a trauma reaction, and you already know what it's about. You already know what it's about, and there can be no good that comes from it. So, for me, I have a slow pulse. You don't have to be like me. Nobody's asking you to be like me. Do what you got to do. Enjoy your life. But I got a slow pulse for a reason, because it protects everybody. It protects, I can't tell you how many times it saved my ass when somebody turned out to be, crazy or addicted to drugs or spoken for or just unavailable in some way. Having a slow pulse means not just jumping in the sack willy-nilly, recklessly with whoever shows up. It means doing it properly, doing it for the right reasons, and doing it ultimately for love, right? Love. Okay, you're tired of hearing it, I know. Nobody wants to talk about love anymore. It's the L word. Love is love, and that's the most you hear about it anymore, but there's more to it. When you love somebody, it's not about you anymore. It's about them. That's how you know. Loving someone is about wanting them to be happy. Loving someone is about wanting them to grow and continue to be happy moving forward, not just today, but every day, even sometimes at your own expense. And if you're not doing it that way, you're doing it possibly for some very dangerous reasons, something to think about. I want to hear what you think about this. Reach out with questions or comments down below. Thank you, and have a great day.